One of the biggest questions I had before purchasing my Vendetta was how fast would it actually help me ride? Hey, so one of the things I wanted to go over before we get into the speeds of the bike is kind of level set the playing field as far as fitness level. This is my second year riding. I think I'm much better and more experienced this year. So these speeds kind of reflect that ability based on my fitness level once you get more comfortable with the bike and are not, fighting through learning curves. So I would say I'm probably at a good stable level. I did ride at 2,000 miles last year. This year, I'm just now starting to ride. So I've only done maybe 100, 150 miles total in the last 3 weeks. I weigh 225 pounds. I'm about 6 foot tall. I have freakishly long legs, so I've got like a 36-inch inseam. I don't think that really matters, but anyway. From a body to a body fat, or what do you call it, body mass index, I'm overweight. I'm probably 30 to 40 pounds overweight still. Even though I'm not very physically capable, I still really enjoy the competitive aspect, which is one of the reasons I went for the Vendetta over, like say, the S40, because me personally, I really enjoy riding fast or going fast. The other reason I chose Vendetta was I wanted to get more involved in the endurance and ultra endurance side of the sport, and I think from a ergonomic standpoint, the Vendetta is probably one of the best cycles to do that. So enough on me and my level, so you kind of guys, you can have a better feel hopefully of where I'm at physically and from a fitness level. Let's get into the actual speeds. Okay, so let's talk cruising right now. And this would be, when I say cruising, what I would mean would be cruising along. You're running maybe 120, 130 heart rate, something you could sustain for a very long period of time, very easily and very comfortably. For me personally, it seems to be right around 18 to 19 miles per hour.
Okay, sprinting. Let's talk about sprinting. That's actually one of the funnest things on this bike to do. And because of the aerodynamics of it, you don't really need a Peloton to put in some pretty good speeds. And at this point, the guys are way ahead of me. We just made a turn and I kind of hung back. So I was trying to catch up with them and got a little bit of a downhill and a little bit of an uphill, but I catch them pretty quick. And I'm going so fast, I just whip around them and then just keep going. And what I didn't realize is I'm just pedaling along here, seeing how fast I can go. And they're actually behind me, chasing me. These guys are some of the best athletes that I ride with in our club. They are really in just phenomenal shape. And what's fun is we're such a competitive group that it's a lot of fun to ride with them. So at this point, I hit a small hill, and you can see I've slowed down, and they were able to pass me. And so, and that's kind of typical how we'll kind of trade back and forth. My wife calls it the kind of the tortoise and the hare. I'm kind of a tortoise going uphill, and then on the downhill, I'm like the hare, like the little rabbit that they're all chasing, trying to chase down. We topped the hill, and I am able to finally chase them down and pass them again, and then kept going. And then I was able to maintain that position for a couple of minutes, but then we hit another little hill. And what I was kind of surprised about, this hill was I did not slow down as much on this hill as I thought I had. But you can see here, they're coming up around me. They actually passed me again. And they're working pretty hard. But like I said, they're just phenomenal athletes. But yeah, they passed me again. I think at this point I was pretty wiped. I mean, I think this was near the end of the 5 mile, and I'm tired. I'm like, okay, they got me. They got me this time.
This hill we actually call the double stack. So the first hill is actually the hardest, and it's kind of wild. Last year I could not see changes in grade. This year I can actually see the changes in grade, which is kind of unusual. So at this point I'm almost up to about a 7% grade level, and you can see up ahead where the shadow is. From at that point, it actually jumps up, and there's where it goes up to a 16% grade on this hill. And then it's a pretty good sized hill. It's still doable, and this is the first time I did this year. I had to walk at the very end because I just could not. I was dying. But after that first time, I haven't had to walk this. I've done it 2 more times since and haven't had to walk it. But at that point, you just keep your RPMs up and just keep pedaling, and you get up to the top. Knowing it does help. I've noticed when you're climbing these hills to know that you're almost to the top, because you can okay, I'm almost there, I can make it. And then once you get to the top, it all backs off.
Okay, downhills. Let's talk downhills. I don't have so this route doesn't have a lot of really steep downhills. Probably the steepest downhill is about 4 to 5%. But just to kind of give you ideas on what kind of speed you're going to get downhill, I would say it's about the max I got on this ride was about 32 miles an hour downhill. But it's not uncommon if it's a little bit steeper to hit 36. 36 is about the most with my gear set that's the fastest I can pedal downhill. And then what I've learned, if I get over 36 miles an hour, it's no point in pedaling. I just let it roll. I have had the bike up to mid 50s. I don't like going that fast, so I typically will start braking and try to hold it under 45 miles an hour, just because I've scared myself a couple of times on the downhill speeds. But the bike is very comfortable on the downhill, and especially with your low center of gravity and your feet forward, you feel a lot more secure and safe on this bike downhill. Part of it is the aerodynamics of it, but then the other part of it is just how much more confident you feel in the control and handling of it on a downhill. I think that makes a huge difference.
So there you have it. That's kind of what I'm seeing from the speed levels, and hopefully you can maybe relate to my fitness level. But that's kind of what the speeds I'm seeing on the CruzBike on the Vendetta. Still really loving the bike. It is so, I'm so excited when I start off and start going and just lay back, and it's like, oh, I'm comfortable. Still preparing for my next race. It's April 26th or 7th. I'm not sure. But it's going to be the Muskogee, Oklahoma Flower Power ride, and I'm attempting a 100-mile race the first time this year, because that's my goal this year. My goal this year is to get good at the 100-mile races. And then, on the future, next year, I'll definitely be, let's see how this year goes first and see how I'm doing. It's definitely been a learning process. I've already, even as little that I've ridden this year, it is so much easier compared to last year. It is so much easier, and I would say more enjoyable immediately compared to now that I'm through that learning curve of learning how to ride it. So if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave me a note, and I'll catch you later. Bye.